Hello, I'm Miriam García and this is my resources and ICT exam. Question 1. My technology enhanced unit of work. Question. I have been using the Valencian Community Curriculum for looking at the objectives and contents of the third course of primary education. The goals that my students have to achieve during these activities are these ones: identifying the essential information, using the basic strategies for the comprehension of a text, producing a short text, identifying and using the vocabulary of the unit, and working in groups and dividing the work. This is my ACAD framework design, in which we can differentiate between three clear parts: the set design, in which appears the apps that me and my students are going to use during these activities. These tools are Quizlet, edusima.com, the Hour of Code, and Canva. The epistemic design, where appears the tasks that we are going to develop. The tasks are creating a crossword, a poster, vocabulary cards, and doing an activity of programming. And finally, the social design, in which appears the way of working. They are going to work individually, in pairs, and in small groups of 4 people. The topic of my unit of work is food, sports, and free time. They will develop the 4 activities that I propose them in 4 classes, 1 class per exercise. In the first part of the unit, they are going to develop 2 exercises. The first exercise is to create in pairs some vocabulary cards in Quizlet. Thereafter are going to be shared in class, working with another pair of students. They will have to register with an email that I will provide them, create a class and a unit in which they have to write their names, and after doing that, only create and play. I will see each pair working in class with another pair. There I will take into account their work. The second exercise is about creating individually a poster in Canva, writing in it what is the favorite food and making a representation of it. After that poster will be uploaded to a shared document of the email that I provide them to be accessible to the whole class. And now, within the second part of the unit, they will do another 2 exercises. The first one is about computer science in the Hour of Code. There, they will develop in pairs a programming hour of a basketball game. They will have to show me when they have finished all the units, as well as the certification that appears when they finish. The second activity is about making a crossword of the vocabulary reviewed in class about food in edusima.com. After having made it, is it an online crossword? There is an option of sending the link. They will upload the link again in the shared document. The ethical issues that my students may face when doing these activities in class is that may have a lack of media resources to take part in the activity. But as in most activities they are working in a group, it's easier to have a solution for this problem. As they are going to be supervised by me all the class, they won't use the internet in an inappropriate way. The added values of using digital tools in this case are the reinforcement of the contents taught in class, as well as developing a new way of using technology, in terms of computational thinking, for example, as well as discovering new tools that will be useful for a long time. For making all the activities from home, the change would be making it all individually or by a call with some classmates. The other things would not have to be changed, as all are online tools, and they have to upload the work in the shared document. I will use a rubric for evaluating them in an objective way. This is the rubric that I will use. I include the criteria of creativity, social relations, comprehension, and vocabulary. In the area of creativity, they can achieve the maximum mark if they use a wide variety of resources in order to get a creative work. In the social relations one, if they collaborate each other. In the comprehension line, if they know what they are reading and know how to use it. And finally, in the vocabulary area, if they understand all the words and use them in an appropriate way. I'm not going to do an average. I'm going to see the final products of each student in the unit and choose a mark depending on everything, all the points included in this rubric, and my own thoughts. You can stop the video for seeing it deeply. This unit is improving my students' personal learning environment as they are discovering new tools that they won't have used before that unit. These are new resources that will be useful for the rest of their academic life. 3. My personal learning environment. The 5 most important critical elements of this course that I'm going to include permanently in my play contain 4 apps and 1 way of teaching. The apps that I'm including are the following ones. PixArt, because it is a very complete app in order to edit photos and create new things using all the resources it has. For example, I use it for mixing few pictures to create something new. Canva, I think, is one of the best and most complete apps for creating slides, whereas you can create there the prettiest posters, infographics, slideshows, etc. Google Drive, including Google Docs, is a good way for working in groups, as it has shared documents and chat. Simple Mind. This app, not known by everyone, is for creating mental maps. It has served me a lot for getting clear information about what I'm doing, and I think it could be useful for children too. And the methodology that I'm going to use during my job as a teacher is creating games or different funny activities with the contents taught in class, known as game-based learning. I will use this for increasing motivation, developing some strategies, and learning problem-solving skills in all my students. Question 4. Digital teaching competencies. 1. Creator and manager of emergent pedagogical practices. This first point means that teachers have to hold all the theoretical and practical pedagogical knowledge. They have to be able to use the ICT resources to enrich the classical methodologies in order to propose and develop innovative and new practices for students to learn in a better way. We have to know how every tool is used and in which way for using it with our students in the way that we can take the most advantage of it. What is more, creating innovative things to encourage them to learn. 4. Expert in enhanced and rich organizational or personal learning contexts. Teachers have to update their knowledge, looking for new information from scientific resources or from other teachers. Doing this, they improve and make their play more complete, with more or different resources, activities where they take the information from, and also attitudes. We have to continue learning how technology evolves and new methodologies that appear. The result of this is that we are more updated, and our students are going to be the most updated when they finish their academic life. They are going to create their own play. 6. Able to use ICT to expand his or her relationship with their students' family and environment. As teachers are social beings, they have to be conscious of the conditions of each student, all their surroundings, and how to improve their conditions. With new technologies, we are closer to all the families. That way, we can know what is important about each student, and that information serves us as teachers to make their school time as good as possible. Question 5. My reflection about the course. From my point of view, the mark that I earned this course is an 8 because I have been a creative mind for my group. On the other hand, in some activities, I think that I could have given more for myself. As far as I can experience, the most important role that I have performed during this course in my group is the translator one. I have chosen this role because knowing a good definition of the important terms of the topic that you are working with is always a good way for having a global knowledge of the topic. Nevertheless, the most challenging role that I have performed is the analyst one. This is because evaluating your group mates in an objective way is very difficult. This has been my resources and ICT exam. I hope you like it and thank you for listening.